Hello, I'm Mark Ells, Barnstable Town Manager, and this is my Town Manager communication for the period of February 26, 2025 through March 4th. We continue with the preparation of the capital and operating budgets for FY 2026. We're following our updated budget action calendar, which I've provided that updated calendar. We had some of the budget hearings and the date for which we would submit the operating budget to the council shift because of a rescheduled council meeting. So that's the primary thing in that budget that budget action calendar that's been updated. Submittal of the recommended FY 2026 capital budget to the town council is planned for the first reading, for its first reading on April 3rd, followed by hearings on April 17th and May 1st. The fiscal year capital improvement plan is available now on the town's website at a link I've provided, and printed copies will be provided to the town council and other of our regular recipients of it in the near future. A town manager fiscal year 2026 proposed fee hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, March 18th at 11 a.m. More details to come on that rate hearing. So these are rates that would go into effect on July 5th. These are fiscal year rates. And for all information relevant to our budget, please visit our website. On Monday, March 3rd, I provided written and oral testimony at the draft 2025 intended use plan hearing. A copy of the written testimony is attached to this report, and you can get it on my website. Actually the town website under Town Manager. In my testimony, I expressed concerns regarding the draft IUP. Now the IUP, the intended use plan, is the place where we submit an application for our wastewater projects to be eligible for state revolving funds. And these are low or no interest borrowing loans that they give us. It's also the method by which other grants come to us, and in this case, very specifically, the Cape and Islands Wastewater Trust Fund principal subsidy. I requested that the proposed changes to this 2025 draft IUP regarding a cap on the $50 million per year with no carryover cost in subsequent years, and projects needing carryover should reapply. That's another change. The no carryover, and then when there is carryover, they need to reapply as a new project in future years. These are significant changes in this draft IUP. That this be rescinded, and that the terms and conditions of the financing revert to those that have been discussed in prior years with the Department of Environmental Protection and the Clean Water Trust Fund. These proposed changes deviate from past practice and undermine financial planning performed at the local, regional, and state levels to create financial assumptions that maximize use of our state revolving fund, and in doing so will impede towns' abilities to secure Cape Cod and Islands Wastewater Trust Fund principal subsidies that have been essential in allowing towns to advance wastewater projects. I emphasize the importance of being listed in the IUP as an eligible project, as this is the mechanism, this is the way the statute is set up for distributing the money from the Cape and Islands Trust Fund, and communities on Cape Cod, including Barnstable, receive a 25% principal subsidy. Each Cape town proposing projects for the 2025 funding cycle did so assuming that the terms of financing would be what they had been in prior years, because that's what we collectively discussed and agreed upon. I asked the DEP to proceed with the approval of the 2025 IUP without the changes referred to above. and convene discussions with communities on a long-term strategy to maintain the viability of this critical funding mechanism. And I will keep the town council and public advised as this matter progresses. Kind of following up on that, coinciding with it actually, on March 3rd, I sent a letter on behalf of the town of Barnstable to Governor Healy requesting that the next environmental bond issue include $500 million to be used by the Clean Water Trust Fund to expand its borrowing limits to meet the increasing capital requests of eligible communities using this state revolving fund that I just spoke about. By expanding the capacity of the state revolving fund to meet the demands of the Clean Water Fund, which is the financial side of who issues the loans for these projects. Funding will allow the SRF, this additional environmental bond bill funding will allow the SRF to meet the current obligations and provide a viable funding mechanism to allow Barnstable to continue advancing its approved comprehensive wastewater management plan. A group of Cape Cod communities and other concerned organizations met with the Undersecretary of the Executive Office of Environmental Affairs on February 27 to discuss the development of the next environmental bond bill, which is expected to be drafted this spring. And we also discussed the environmental priorities that are identified in that potential funding source, the bill, the environmental bond bill. Adequate funding of future intended use plans was one of the priorities that those in attendance identified to the state. We anticipate future discussions over the coming weeks and months as the next environmental bond bill is drafted. Again, keep you advised on how this progresses. The Executive Office of Environmental Affairs has reopened the public comment period on their draft regulations 301 CMR 52, which would implement the Public Lands Preservation Act, originally the Open Space Act. You may remember this maybe about a month ago, there was a lot of discussion about, the comments to be made relative to this. EEA previously held public hearings on December 17th of 24 and January 16th of 25. EEA has scheduled a third virtual public hearing for March 26th at 4 p.m. and extended the comment period through 5 p.m. that day, March 26th. Our legal department has registered to attend the virtual public hearing on March 26th, and you can use this link to find more information on the EEA webpage. If you're trying to remember what this is the one that people had concerns about, the Article 97 and potential changes relevant to Article 97. Please note that the February 28th, 2025 draft Open Space Act regulations posted on the EEA webpage is the same version that was posted for the earlier public hearings. EEA has included on the above referenced webpage a link to notice to reviewers. In this notice, among things the EEA asks to hear from the public on, there's two specific topics. Where and how EEA proposes that the public entities notify the public of the proposed Article 97 action. That's one of the items. The second one is EEA's online tool for identifying natural resource values under the 52.08 of the draft regulations and other information that could assist EEA in evaluating and determining natural resource values. The town's January 22nd of 2005 comment letter covered the first topic in detail, and our legal department is looking at the second topic to determine whether any additional comments are warranted. I met with MIT Renewable Energy for sighting clinic team last week for an update on their efforts. This was a kickoff meeting in which they're planning their work for the coming semester. I anticipate further discussion on their efforts in the coming weeks. They didn't get into a lot of detail on exactly what they're planning to do. They had a lot of questions that the new interns, these are graduate interns, wanted to ask. And so I spent about an hour with them trying to answer their questions. And I expect to see more in the very near future from them. That concludes my town manager's update. And I look forward to my next opportunity to keep you updated on town issues. Thank you.